You know, in English, there's this one little three-letter ending that is an absolute master of disguise. ing. It seems so simple, right? But it plays all these different roles in our sentences. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and expose its secrets.
So think about this for a second. Look at these sentences. Reading is my hobby. I am reading a book. This is a boring book. We've got ing acting as a thing, as an action in progress, and as a description. How in the world does one little ending do all of that? That's the puzzle we're going to solve right now.
Well, here's the secret. The key to it all is knowing that the ing form really only has two secret identities. Once you learn how to spot them, you've pretty much cracked the code. So let's start the investigation.
All right, let's pull back the curtain on identity number 1, the gerund. The best way to think about a gerund is as a verb in disguise. It's basically wearing a noun costume. Its job is to take an action, something like running, and talk about it as if it were a thing.
So, what is a gerund? Officially, it's really just a verb that ends in ing, but its job in the sentence is to act like a noun. We're taking an action word and treating it exactly like we would treat a person, a place, or an idea.
Okay, so one of the main places you'll see a gerund is as the subject of a sentence. In reading is my favorite hobby, the main thing we're talking about, the subject, is the act of reading. Same with the others. Smoking is the thing that's bad. Learning is the thing that takes time. They've become the nouns that kick off the whole idea.
Now, here's a super useful tip. There are certain verbs that are basically a giant flashing sign that a gerund is about to show up. You can group them in your head. Verbs about feelings, like enjoy. Verbs about actions, like finish. And verbs about communication, like suggest. If you see one of these, get ready for a gerund to follow.
And here's a perfect example of that. I enjoy reading novels. What is the object of my enjoyment? It's the activity, the thing called reading. It's the noun that receives the action of the verb enjoy.
Okay, listen up, because this is the golden rule. If you walk away with just one thing about gerunds today, let it be this. Any verb that comes directly after a preposition, words like for, at, in, without, it absolutely must be in the ing form. It's the biggest clue you'll ever get. Let's see that golden rule in action. Thank you for helping. She's interested in learning. He left without saying. You see the pattern? The preposition is the trigger. It forces the very next verb into its gerund form. It's a dead giveaway. Okay, so we've got the gerund figured out. It's a verb pretending to be a noun. But what about that other disguise? Let's meet identity number 2, the present participle. This one isn't about being a noun at all. No, its job is all about action and description. So the present participle is the exact same ing form of a verb, but it has a totally different job description. It's not trying to be a noun anymore. Instead, it has two main gigs. Either it helps create a continuous verb tense, or it acts as an adjective. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. The participle partners up with the verb to be to show an action is, was, or will be ongoing. I am studying. They were playing. She will be working. The ing word here is part of the verb itself, showing that continuous flow of action through time. The participle's other job is to be an adjective, and it does this in two cool ways. First, it can describe what a noun is literally doing, like the running water. The water's in the act of running. But it can also describe the effect something has. So, the movie was boring. The movie wasn't bored itself, it was causing the feeling of boredom in us. And here's one last special case you'll see all the time. After verbs of perception, see, hear, watch, feel, we use a present participle to describe an action we're witnessing as it happens. When you say, I saw him walking, you're saying you saw the action of walking in progress. You caught him mid-stride. Okay, let's bring it all together. We've investigated both identities. We've met the gerund, the verb as a noun, and the present participle, the verb as action or description. Now it's time for the final showdown, putting them right next to each other.
Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet. It all comes down to asking one simple question. What is the ing word's job in this sentence? Is it acting like a noun, as a subject, an object, or after a preposition? If yes, it's a gerund. Or is it part of a verb, or acting like an adjective? Then you've got a present participle. That's the whole game right there.
All right, pop quiz time. Let's test your new detective skills. Look at this sentence. I hate waiting in queues. Take a second. Think about its job. Is waiting a gerund or a participle?
It's a gerund. Yes, if you got that, awesome job. And why? Because waiting is the thing that you hate. It's the object of the verb hate. Just like in our earlier example, I enjoy reading. It's an activity that's acting like a noun.
So, you might be thinking, okay, that's interesting grammar, but why does it actually matter? Well, because getting this isn't just about passing a test. It's about unlocking a new level of fluency. This is your new grammar superpower.
Seriously, when you master the two faces of ing, you'll find yourself speaking more naturally. Your writing gets more precise and a lot more interesting. And you'll just navigate English with way more confidence because you're avoiding those common little mistakes that can trip people up.
So there you have it. The secret's out. The two identities of the ing form are no longer a mystery to you. So my challenge to you is this: as you go about your day listening, reading, how many of these ing disguises can you spot out in the wild? Thanks for joining this explainer.